Oh, hi there. I got asked by Brad over at mild-mannered EDC to reach into my little purple panties here and show you all my daily banger. So I thought, why not? I'm always happy to delve between the crevices and cracks of what I carry in my undercarriage and show you all what I'm all about. And also, it's a great time to do a re-review of my daily banger, the TRM Atom. Hey my friends, I recently had the opportunity to reskin so the right term for it, rescale my TRM Atom. 49 Giants sent me some replacement scales for my grey TRM Atom scales. Some nice snazzy blue carbon fibre ones. Carbon fibre scales, and as such I swapped them over, and then I thought, well, it's not a bad time for a follow-up review. I get asked a lot of questions, and I get asked the same question a lot of times.
What are these transactions to OnlyFans that keep showing up on our bank statements?
No, it's, do you think the TRM Atom is still the best overall EDC knife? And I guess to answer that question, you need to ask another question. And that is, what do you think is an EDC knife? And I think an everyday carry knife is something that is for nothing too challenging. So something to do your basic jobs. Nothing we're going to be looking at for the average person doing wrecking work or construction work or anything like that. Those are probably more trade specific knives, hard use knives, whatnot. In terms of just being a great usable pocket knife, yes, I do absolutely think that the TRM Atom is still the best safe purchase EDC pocket knife that you can currently get. There's a lot of great things about this. It's under $200. I mean, for a US made product, that's still pretty good. And it's using what I would say are premium enough materials to warrant that price tag, especially with, US labor. A country that pays its workers pretty good and generally has its own infrastructure to build knives. That's a pretty good deal, really. It's not really, they're not outsourced to anyone else. So it's pretty cool. For a general safe buy once, cry once purchase, I absolutely think this is still the best thing on the market. It's better than anything that Spyderco or Benchmade or Cold Steel or anything, any of the other companies are really producing. It has less drawbacks than any of the others I can think of. It's just a super safe buy. So why is that? Well, it does a lot of things that me, a knife nerd, likes a whole bunch. And it's mainly all about how the thing cuts. It's got a really nice thin blade made of CPM 20 CV steel. So that's a great steel in a great blade with a really nice thin grind. And even as I'm wearing it right now, I don't have one of my fancy edges on this guy. I've just got an edge I've been gradually rehoning as I've needed to on my work sharp field sharpener. So it's got the 17 degree primary bevel, which has lost its mirror a long time ago, and I've just been redoing a little micro bevel on it with the fine diamond and then the leather strop as I've needed to do it. And even with what is, probably getting more close to what a basic factory edge would be, the thing still cuts as good as some of the really highly tuned knives in my collection, simply because it's got such a great thin edge. You can really put a fairly mediocre terminating apex on this guy and it'll still cut really well because of the supporting geometries behind it. So without sounding any more like an ASAP science video, it cut good. Now, it's pretty basic in terms of construction, deployment. It's thumb stud, it's liner locking, and all those things I think are totally fine for an EDC knife. You can get some blades that have, their more robust, heavy duty locks. You can get blades that have, a lock and then a lock on them, all that sort of stuff. I don't find any of that stuff is completely essential for an everyday carry knife. Sure, I probably prefer the compression lock. I like the sort of hands-free closure that a compression lock gets you in terms of opening and shutting, as seen here on the paramilitary too. But it's a liner lock. You really can't say that a liner lock is anything too controversial. It's pretty darn neutral. So yeah, you're getting a really comfortable amount of neutrality to keep it kind of widely appealing. No one could really have too much of a problem with this knife. But then down this end, you're getting some really good, finely tuned, high-end blade design. On par with what some custom makers are doing, and custom makers are generally going to really aim for the stars, shoot for the moon with their grinds. TRM are doing that in a production sense, and I think that's the best attribute of the blade. Pocket clip, really good too, nice and deep, lots of space here. The screws do protrude a little bit, but as such they give it a bit more of an extra bend, so it's not getting too snagged on your pocket. A nice amount of contact and spring to the clip against the now CF scales, but yeah, overall, very safe, very neutral pocket clip. I like the deep carry. Some folks don't. Some folks like having a bit more they can grab onto, but suits me just fine. One issue the knife had for me when I got it out of the box was that the pivot kept coming a bit loose and the centering would suffer. That was solved, remedied quite immediately by some Loctite. So I'm not sure if that's still an issue. I think they're certainly aware of it because they do seem to watch all the people's reviews on their products. So I would hope that that's been fixed in the meantime. The only main criticism, or the main thing I didn't particularly love about mine was the original grey scales, and TRM make a whole host of other scales, which I am now quite gladly wearing. I think this is CF, or maybe it's just G10. I'm not sure. It looks like CF to me. It's got that shininess when it's planed away, and it has that sort of cross-hatching that you see, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, really nice looking new scale. It's very light. It hasn't increased the weight at all. Might have actually decreased it slightly in terms of like a gram or something. So yeah, came with a pretty dull grey scales, which still work. They sort of got a bit dirty over time, and now being replaced with these rather nice blue ones here. So really cool. Just keeping this review brief, it's just mainly to answer this question that I often get. So yes, I certainly do think it is still the best, safest EDC knife that you can buy at the moment. Cuts great, has nice neutral ergos, has enough things that are unremarkable about it to keep it from being polarizing in any way. And then when it's actually open and cutting and performing, it's going to be one of the industry's best. So wholeheartedly still endorse the TRM Atom. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.